So, um, imagine you find out that you inherited a billionaire's bank account,
Oh, wow. Okay.
right? But you are still out there, like, clipping coupons because somebody told you that you only get an allowance of $10 a day.
That would be agonizing.
It really would. And that tension between what you supposedly possess and what you actually experience on a daily basis is exactly the entry point.
Yeah. We are looking at an excerpt from the May 5th edition of a devotional. It's called Rhapsody of Realities by Pastor Chris.
Exactly.
And the author really comes right out swinging against this concept of measures. Like, he challenges the common belief that Christians receive varying portions of the Spirit.
Right, because they point to Scripture, specifically John chapter 3, arguing that the Spirit is fundamentally a person.
Mm.
And by definition, you can't just receive a fraction of a person, like getting a new roommate. You don't just get their arm or their leg.
No, you get the whole person.
Right. You either have the entirety of the person or you don't. But, and here's my pushback. Human experience totally contradicts this, right?
Absolutely.
If every single believer allegedly possesses this identical absolute fullness, why do most people feel, completely spiritually drained on a random Tuesday morning?
Well, that is exactly the feeling the author is actively trying to dismantle.
Okay.
The text diagnoses the problem not as a lack of spiritual inventory, but a lack of consciousness.
Oh, interesting. So it's a psychological pivot.
Exactly. It shifts the reader's baseline assumption from, I need to acquire more power to, I am already fully equipped. The gap isn't in what you possess, it's just in your awareness.
That makes sense. And to explain why people still default to that feeling of lack, the text actually points to historical baggage.
Yeah, it draws this massive contrast between how believers operated in the Old Testament versus today.
Right, because in the Old Testament framework they describe, the Spirit was meted out in limited measures.
Just for specific assignments.
Exactly. A highly restricted temporary system. And the author argues modern believers are still trapped in that obsolete paradigm.
It's kind of like upgrading from a prepaid limited data plan that you only use for work to an entirely unlimited infinite connection. But you're still afraid to stream a movie.
Yes. Or like renting specialized heavy machinery for one construction job versus just buying the entire factory.
Right, and the text insists the rental system is over.
Completely over.
It actually poses this rhetorical question, like, if the Spirit were still given in limited measures today, how could you ever truly know how much you have?
You'd always be guessing.
Exactly. So the author removes that anxiety of a limited supply by just declaring that the modern believer owns the factory.
Well, and if you own the factory, the output should be massive.
Right.
The text points to the book of Acts as proof, noting the early church produced these extraordinary results: boldness, power, clear preaching.
But then the claims escalate pretty aggressively.
They really do. The author brings up Romans 8 to assert that the exact same Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead currently dwells inside the reader.
Yeah, and the author uses that to build a very specific logical bridge.
How so?
Well, if you accept the premise that the literal mechanism responsible for reversing death is currently housed inside your physical body,
Right.
then biological sickness or just everyday obstacles become, mathematically a much smaller problem.
Oh, for sure. The text claims this Spirit vitalizes your physical body and gives you miracle-working ability.
Yeah, healing the sick, casting out devils, raising the dead. They aren't framed as these magical add-ons.
No, they're presented as the natural mechanical output of housing what is essentially a resurrection engine.
Which is a massive call to action. The author wants the reader to walk in the active consciousness of this power.
The end goal is to view yourself as literally unstoppable.
Right. And for you listening, understanding a framework like this really decodes the mindset driving certain modern faith communities today.
Definitely.
When a group operates on the assumption of absolute limitless empowerment residing inside them, it dictates a fundamentally different approach to, navigating reality and interacting with the world.
It changes everything. Which really leaves us with one final thought, something for you to mull over as we wrap up.
Lay it on us.
If everyone already has full access to the billionaire's bank account, who needs a financial advisor?
We trust you were blessed by this episode. To gain unlimited access to Rhapsody of Realities by Pastor Chris, please download the Rhapsody app using the link myapp.rhapsodyofrealities.org. God bless you.